shows a level of frustration of how tough his night's been. How did you see the Marcus Windhager tag?
Well, this is going to get a lot of talk, I reckon.
Yeah.
And I need an opportunity to go through and watch behind the goals vision or side vision to see exactly what went on off ball, because I think Craig McRae will be frustrated with what's happening to his little champ over the last few weeks. He's put it to the media in an attempt, I think, to get the umpiring department to wise up. This is the sort of stuff that's going on. Little knees to the back of the hamstrings there. I think that's too far. These sorts of plays here, taggers do anything to get under the skin.
So it's a pinch?
And then there's a little whack here. Just little things that I just think are a step too far.
What's that?
Well, I just think it's to distract, and it's not really at a level that it's going to draw any attention from the MRO.
But you think the knees to the hammies are
that's a
not fair
no-go.
game?
I think that's outside the code, and if that's going on more than what we're looking at now, if that's happened 15 or 20 times, I'd expect a phone call from the AFL.
What's your label for it? What sticker are you putting on it?
I don't know what it is. It just seems to be one of those things that annoys the staff factor players. Yeah, I don't know. So I've only got a couple of bits of vision here to show you tonight, but I want to put this on watch for first crack tomorrow night. You just got to be so careful in this game, and we've got to look after our star factor players. The game owes these players some form of protection. And the umpires did take a stand early. They paid a free kick for a punch in the stomach 30 seconds into the game. I thought, perfect. Craig McRae's had a big win here. Didn't pan out that way. I just still think our stars get held and contorted and twisted at stoppage.
The retaliator gets caught as well, and we saw that early on with Daicos. I think it was speak about knife's edge. I think it was on a knife's edge with how he was approaching the tag from Marcus Windhager, because it clearly got under his skin early on. He wanted to be physical towards Windhager, gave away a couple of free kicks to try and insert his dominance physically as well. So I loved the interview with Cam Mooney after. He just went business as usual. He gives credit to the opposition.
He didn't mention Marcus.
He didn't.
He went out of his way to bring it back to the Collingwood midfield or the Collingwood plan, the leaders, the protection. He never mentioned the tagger. I thought that was interesting.
It's never giving up an inch. It's not coming in going, I'm feeling a bit sick today when I'm going to tag you. But it's just, that's the competitiveness in him, I reckon. And I absolutely love the fact that he takes it, even after the siren, to the nth degree.
Let's head down into the Collingwood change rooms, because the coach, Craig McRae, has been good enough to join us. Fly, thanks so much for your time. We were just watching a few Nick Daicos highlights and the tag from Marcus Windhager. How did you see his game tonight?
We thought he had a great game, and it's really pleasing. We spent a lot of time during the week trying to set Nick up to be the best player he can be, and we know the opposition are trying to cause that to be or make that to be the opposite most weeks. So credit to him, and I really love the way that we support him tonight.
We do have to just applaud yourself for a moment, because 300 games as player coach, AFL Life membership is yours, Fly.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that to you on live television. But what does this mean to you?
Actually, they showed highlights during the week, and I tell you what, it was so embarrassing when the VHS come out. It was the highlights was really bad. No, I'm really honoured and grateful. I can't believe I've been in the game for 30 years. It's nuts. And back in '95 when I got a chance to come from Adelaide, I just love the game, and to think I'm still doing it 30 years later, I just pinch myself.
It's awesome, Fly. Congratulations. I want to get back to the Nick Daicos conversation. You put this on the radar yourself.
Just lost him. It was a great question, Keith.
He did say it was a great question, Kingy, so maybe he does have us. But he does have a monitor in front of him as well, so he'll be able to see your vision, and it's a really good question.
Guys.
He can
hear us now.
Yeah.
Sorry, King Kong,
it's a
back to your question.
Great question, King. I couldn't hear any of it. It was...
It was the best work I've done in years.
No, I did hear the bit about Nick and the conversation. To be honest, I spent 40 minutes with Nick during the week, and most of my bio I'd spent thinking about how we support him a bit better, and we're constantly trying to evolve our game to where Nick can have the most influence. We want him to be the best player he can be, and set him up, and then I put on the table just around the value of the tag. without disrespecting the opposition. I hope I didn't come across that way. It's more about the reality of if you tag, that actually comes at a cost. Especially, we move in the wing, you don't have a winger for a bit. You're moving forward, the guy has to go deep with him in other parts. So hope that didn't come across disrespectful.
No, it didn't. Leave the disrespectful stuff to us if you don't mind. Just have a quick look at this and see whether you think this is a fraction outside the code. I mean, I'm watching this guy closely. I want him to be a star, and Marcus Windhager's got a job. But this checking of the back of the hamstrings, basically kneeing in the back of the hamstring here. Nick reacts the second time it happens on this occasion. I doubt that was the first, given that it was late in the game. What are your thoughts when you see that? And I know this body checking goes on. That's a tagger's right to really check. But there's a couple of things that just happen late that are maybe outside the code.
Oh, look, the job of the tagger is to disrupt, isn't it? That's his job. And, he's doing that within the rules, I suppose, if they don't pick it up. And, I'm probably not going to comment on the kneeing and things like that. That's obviously up to others to decide whether that's, a bit too far. But I just love how Nick just got on with it tonight, and one of the big things with being a tagger is actually let's see if they can go with you. And some weeks they can run with you, some weeks they can't. And again tonight, I thought Nick won that battle.
Yep.
Fly, you've obviously got the champs down there, the Daicos boys, and a whole host of other superstars. But I thought Pat Lipinski's game tonight was fantastic. He seems to be playing that sort of forward half role for you. He gets a lot of the ball, but also is involved in a lot of the scores. He's become a pretty pivotal part to your football club.
Yeah, he is. And, particularly the Hawthorn game, he kicked a couple of goals to half-time and was really influential. He sort of moved his position from wing to a bit more of a forward role, and his impact in the scoreboard. He's such a beautiful kick inside 50. I've said that for many years now. He's our best, guy, checkers, these guys, their eyes light up when he gets the footy forward of the ball. So, and it's important to come back after a couple of weeks out to get his form going again. I was really pleased for Paddy.
Fly so well placed to go deep again. Won a flag only 2 years ago, and you got the biggest trump card still yet to come in Jordan De Goey. Can you tell us about your plan for him from that Achilles injury? When do you think he'll be ripe?
Yeah, I said during the week in my press conference, we've probably gone back 2 to 3 steps because, in recent time, he's just had a few different disruptions to his progress and his rehab. And, I got back from the bye. He's had a really good training week, and then he started to hit the ground running-wise. So, probably anticipating with a rough guess around 3 weeks, maybe, and then play some VFL footy and then see where we're at.
Fly, it's uncomfortable seeing you so serious. Can you just lighten up a little bit? Was another good win for you tonight? How excited are you about what can potentially be in the next couple of months?
Oh, super excited. This is you don't get too many chances in footy to be putting yourself in a position. We're not qualified for finals yet, but reality is we need 14 wins to do that, and it's we've put ourselves in a really good position. And each week we want to keep growing. I think we're. Next week I'd love to have Charlie West kick the goal off the siren to win the game in the VFL today, kick 6 goals. I'd love to give these guys opportunities, and we want to show our supporter base that we're not standing still. We're here to grow and improve ourselves, and it's pretty exciting right now.
Just been told you're being called to your coaches meeting. Who's in charge down there? I mean, you're the man. Who controls this?
Well, I meant to call that, so what's going on here? Leave that with me, Kingy. Oh, good, mate. And sorry for being too serious. I'll get back to you.
We'll let you go. Congratulations on the win and life membership, of course.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's always so interesting talking to a coach straight after the game and just seeing exactly where their mind's at. I mean, he's got one of the best gigs at the moment because they just keep winning week in, week out.
Yeah, you could say he wanted to process what he saw on the screen. I reckon he'd be filthy about that, the way Daicos is being treated there. And he's never going to publicly come out and say that, but that's his star player there that's basically being harassed for the whole 120 minutes. And I love the fact that he spoke about that he takes it on himself to have the 40-minute conversation with Nick Daicos about dealing with what's happening with him at the moment. We think he's a champion of the game, and we know he's a champion of the game, but still the champs need support sometimes, and Craig McRae is doing that for his best player.
Well, that's a coaching at the peak of his powers,
isn't it?
Really bringing their champ in and, addressing some of that frustration which he'd clearly be having at the moment. The lightness of the environment is incredible at the moment. They're going to go deep, the Pies.
I'm being told that we do have more of
there'll be more
vision of we do have more right now of this Nick Daicos Marcus Windhager tag. You could tell Craig McRae, I mean, he's such a good media performer now. He knows not to say anything too controversial about it, but reading between the lines, he liked that it was on the agenda. He liked that we were discussing it post-game.
It becomes a memo. It becomes an AFL memo on Monday.
Yeah.
It has to. This is the Ryan Crowley stuff. Remember, he pinched Boomer 54 times throughout that game or whatever, had all the marks. I think, as you say, this crosses the line, and people would say it's a bit cheap, maybe a bit dirty footy. I think Marcus Windhager is a good enough player to be able to go head-to-head with Nick Daicos without necessarily pinching him.
Oh, without pinching him, absolutely. But most of this is legal. Most of this is really good combat.
Yep.
It's just the extras that we're talking about, isn't it? It's what 10% of
the knee's no good.
No, I get that, but we're not going to show probably 30 of those.
Yep.
I think it's a small part of what Marcus has clearly gone to in the kit bag, and I marvel at what these star factor players are able to do, but the game has to let them ply their trade.
Yeah.
We just can't have taggers getting on top of ball winners in terms of their ability to compete.
Well, they're under the microscope now.
So,
now it's under the spotlight.
So if they're under the microscope, we've seen, we think the majority of what we just saw there is fair play. Is there room for the tag in the modern game if we're going to be putting them under that bigger microscope? I think the kneeing is 100% a free kick. The slapping of the arms is sort of here nor there. There may be little
Well, you
cheap
rarely
shots to the
do
head.
this, though. You rarely see this type of discussion and spotlight on a tagger. But it's also
it is an art form.
It's over the line.
It is, yeah.
It's over the line, I think, too much. I mean, as you said, you just said that Craig McRae would be filthy with the treatment, and for good reason.
Yeah, when we watch the kneeing, I think the kneeing's there, but all the other stuff, that's just combative footy, is there?
But whether
I don't get... Kath, sorry.
No, go on.
We've got 4 umpires, right? And I know there's a lot happening in the game. A lot happens around this guy. Right? You don't have to take your eyes far from the ball to see what is happening to Nick. So anytime you see anything like this, it's a free kick straight away. Like he's basically been given 2 free kicks tonight via this battle, head-to-head. And he ended up with 4 for the night. So 2 that are not related to this at all. So that's not enough for me. And I've only just seen 4 or 5 pieces of play tonight. This for me, late, when he slaps him to the face, is a free kick. That's all right, you can get away with that. And they'll probably let that go all night. So they're grabbing, that's just part of it. There it is there. That's a free kick, straight away. Now, what are you watching if you're one of the 4 umpires that can take your vision from that man? I'm lost with that. And this guy, I tip my lid to him a little bit, OK? It's a tough role. It's the toughest role in footy. Jack, that's a tough ask for a young man.
He took down Bont last week. It was fantastic. So clearly it's working for the moment. I just think that the kneeing and that little sort of right at the end of that play, the high touch obviously are free kicks, but the rest of the stuff it's an art form. Ryan Crowley was a very good player because he was an elite tagger. Cameron Ling is exactly the same as that. If you've got a stopper, they push the boundaries and sometimes they go over them. Clearly, a couple of the things we've seen tonight, Marcus Windhager's probably gone against the grain of the game.
How should Chris O handle this, do you think?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think there probably wasn't the force there that'll require any sort of, or trigger any sort of sanction or fine. I think it's one that the AFL can get on top of.
You don't reckon he will get fined for knee?
Oh, I just think
that is not a great look.
I don't think he will either, but it's just
negligent
under the threshold.
I think this is where the AFL just sends a memo to all 18 clubs and just says, look, we saw this at the weekend, bit of pinching, bit of kneeing. Just want to let you know that if it happens again, then we will go down the sanction path, or we will be watching it for more free kicks. I think this is really easily and quickly nipped in the bud, but it's great that it is in on the table so we can all have a look at it and doesn't get out of control.
And this is not a Nick Daicos discussion, right? Before people jump up and down and say, oh, because this is happening to Nick, it's a Collingwood. It's not. It's across the comp.
It's anyone.
It's anyone. It's Matt Rowell. It's Marcus Bontempelli.
Yeah.
It's Ed Richards. It's whoever you want to nominate. And we've had times or periods over the last, I reckon, decade where we've tried to stamp some of these things out and haven't followed through. They paid a free kick 30 seconds into the game and then, I think, lost sight of what was going on.
Yeah. Whether some of the actions were fair game or not, it's just interesting to have these sort of camera vision, these camera angles, and seeing exactly what a tag looks like throughout the game. So maybe it's something we'll do more often with other matchups, because as you said, it's not just a Nick Daicos discussion, it's across the comp.